Greetings and welcome to Storytells, the evolution of Poetic Soul Unspoken Roots. I am your host, author, businesswoman, inspirational leader, and philanthropist, themichellelynette. We are in the month of April, which is National Poetry Month, and every Sunday I will be coming to you reciting one poem from my inspirational collection of poetry entitled Poetic Soul Unspoken Roots, which is right here beside me. And for those of you who have not yet had the opportunity to catch the previous segments that I've uploaded for you, all you have to do is just subscribe to this channel, click that notification button, so every time that I've uploaded a video, you have access to it at any time that you would like to catch it. Okay, and if you have not yet received your personal copy of my poetry book, I will have my website listed at the end of this segment in the show notes so that you can get your personal copy from me sent to you. Now, let's go ahead and get ourselves together so we can get started. Grab yourself a glass of wine or water if you choose. Light a candle to set the tone and get you a snack. Make yourself comfortable and come on back so we can get started. Welcome back, and thank you for joining me this evening. Before I get started, I would like to touch on what we've experienced this past week with the senseless murder of young Dante Wright. When I saw that, I was very disturbed, and it became a heavy thing for me. And I know if it was heavy for me, I can imagine how it was for his mother, his family, and his close friends. It was so unnecessary. And it put me in a space of frustration, anger, because here we go again. Here we go again, like it just never ends, it seems. And so it made me want to go to my politics section again and speak about what it is to be Black in America, to be Black in the world, and how we continue to face injustices every day that we wake up and put foot into the earth and walk around. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling because we should not have to tiptoe our way around life just to live, because there are other people who are not like us that are ready to take us out. And that is just so unfair. And I have a grandson, and I also have a son. And I am reminded every time something like this comes out that I have to work just as hard to make sure that their lives are not impacted in this way when it is time for them to journey off into the world. And for those of you who are not of the Black race, but you are a minority group, you understand only so much, because you don't have to deal with what we have to deal with, but you still have to deal with some things. And for those of you who are not minority at all, shame on you. Because the fact that you still think this much of us with your narrow mind is very pathetic. We still feel like you. We still feel the weight of the world like you. We bleed like you. We breathe like you. Our problems are no different from your problems, other than the fact that you keep giving us problems that we don't even want to have. We are a human race of people. If God didn't want us to intermingle with each other, don't you think he would have created a world that was specifically for white people? And a world specifically for minority people, if that's how he wanted us to live in this life? But that's not the way our Creator set us up. He set us up to intermingle with one another, to love one another, to be there for one another. And unfortunately, The narrow minds of those who are not us have created this great divide between us. And it has gone on for years, and it continues to go on, and it is unfair. It's unfair. How would you feel if that happened to your child, that happened to your grandchild? You wouldn't accept it the same. You couldn't even fix your mind to receive the I'm sorries or it was an accident. You could not make your mind even feel it because you will be so enraged. You will be ready to go to war because it's your loved one. Why can't we have that same sympathy and love and empathy and respect and loyalty? Why can't we have that? Don't allow our people to just be good enough for your personal need. And then when it's time to pull it away, you ready to tear us down. You ready to put us in the grave. You ready to keep us at bare minimum. That's not right. It's not right at all. And I want to say to my people, it is time for us to start demanding what it is that we deserve. We got to stop fighting each other. We got to start coming together, and we have to weaponize love amongst ourselves so that these people can start respecting us because we're not getting it. And it's going to continue to happen while we are here. It's going to continue to happen with our children. It's going to happen with our grandchildren and their children. It will continue. So until we decide to start fighting for what we deserve, this will be a continued cycle of mess. So I am going to read the poem from the politics section of my book. And before I start, parents, if your child is between the ages of 1 to 14, this is not for them. My work is not intended for any child that is under 15 years old. It is too mature for them. They will not understand it. So please do not share this work with them. It is not for them. Let me give you just a snapshot into the book, Politics. My book is broken up into 7 sections, and because of what we had gone through this past week, again, with the beloved Dante Wright, I decided to go back to it and share my poem about what it's like to be Black. So let me get started. Because I'm Black, this is what I have to face. A world, society, judicial system that sees dog, niggas, and slaves all across my face. Just who in the hell do you think I am? An animal born under humanity with the rights to praise insanity? I was brought here for a reason, not to bow down to your displeasing. It's easy for you to look at me crazy, but it kills you to speak to me. Isn't that amazing? Grace, that is, keeps me moving. So when I have to look at you, there's no frustration, just me glorifying God for giving me the patience to stand here and not have to kick your ass for all the troubles you've caused my ancestors in the past. Because I'm Black, I have to struggle to be free. There's no room in your colorless heart to accept who I'll ever be. Cruelty is your name. Bullshit is your game. You don't understand me now, and I won't trust you later. Looking at me surprisingly because I'm disrespecting you? Damn right, I am not Casper, boo. You better look at me good and watch me stand proud. See, when I get a hold of your child, you gonna hear that spoiled brat cry loud. Just like I did when I was a kid. Took away the loyalty from my father, the freedom from my mother, and you expect for me, the seed that was bared to respect you, non-colored? Because I'm Black, I cannot abide by your rules. The mentality you've given me takes away from the joy of me wanting to finish school. And that's how you begin to see the righteous fool. You underestimate me because I'm not you. And then you turn right back around and ask me if I may help you. Shit now is what I say. You never liked me anyway. So to think that you would want the knowledge of my brains to help you maintain? You must have bumped your head when you tried to make it in that fast lane. I can't help but to tell it how it is. This is how we express thoughts in the black biz. Born a slave, die a slave has been the thought. But my outlook on this scenario makes the battle much harder, and it goes deeper than how I fought. Because I'm black, I have to battle against my own color. See, most of us can't even stand each other. You walk by me every day to stare me in the face. Swear up and down that you slept with me in the corner bedroom of your mama's place. Sisters, you try to hate on each other when your significant other is out there chasing down street lovers. You got the wrong idea to come tripping over here, when that man is the one that you need to be checking, dear. Brothers, stay that ass up out of jail. Ain't no peace in that cell. You got children to raise, but you're nowhere to help mama raise them. Your own flesh and blood, youngins growing up to be trifling thugs. Know what I mean? Daughters being acknowledged as the ghetto queen. I don't need to go any further back. My skin says enough because I'm black. I'm going to give myself some snaps. And I know this was deep. And for those of you who do not understand what I'm doing, this is what we do in the poetry world when a poet is standing before you and they are expressing themselves. It is a way to let the poet know that you acknowledge their work, you like their work, and you're not interrupting them as they are speaking. Okay, so let me get into where this poem came from. I wrote this poem back in 1998, and I was actually outside in a neighborhood, and what I saw was some young black men that were, just being disruptive, not very intelligent in their choices. And so, unfortunately, they got into a scuffle with another group of people that were a minority group of people, of course. And so, of course, the police came. As I'm standing there, I'm watching that. I'm looking at how these young men are being treated. But at the same time, I've also witnessed how their behavior was prior to the police showing up. And so it made me, pull from that particular situation. And so that's how the poem was born, through me seeing some young black men being disruptive with another group of kids. And it was just senseless. It was very stupid. And to see how the officers were handling them, yes, I understand that they had to do their job. But at that time, they weren't trying to, kill anyone. It was just how they were handled. And so as I'm writing the poem, I'm also thinking about other things that, I've witnessed in life. And so those things are being dropped into the poem. Just how we are treated when we go into a store, and how we're just looked at and followed around like we're about to take something. I pull from that place as well. And I've also pulled from a place of just seeing privileged kids, how they are treated as opposed to non-privileged kids. So the poem really was pulled from multiple places, just things that I've witnessed in life with how other children are treated, with how the police handles black people in general, and just foolery within our community. And also just seeing how women attack each other when their men are out there, being disrespectful to them, being disloyal to them, behind their backs, how, women attack one another. So that's where that little spiel came from as well. And it also came from the fact that I feel like the Black community, we do not support each other enough. And because we don't support each other enough, there's division between us. And when other communities outside of us see that we don't love each other ourselves, and we have no loyalty to each other ourselves, and we create our own division, why should they love, support us, and unite with us when we can't unite with each other? So that's the backstory behind Because I'm Black. I know it was heavy, but it came from a heavy place. And when I speak, I pull from, very raw places that I've witnessed, that I've experienced. Because when I speak, I'm a real speaker. I don't fake the funk with anybody. I say what I need to say, and I try to say it as respectfully as I can. So for those of you who would like to share your feelings on what I've said, please put it down in the comments. I would love to hear what you thought about that, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. We can have a healthy conversation about that. If you've experienced some things yourself and you can relate to what I said, put your experience in the comments. I would love to hear about it. I would love to communicate with you about it. So this concludes today's segment. And I want us to pull together, and I want to leave you with this before I end the show. To my people, if you have not yet learned how to deal with your pain, first thing you need to do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge your pain. Then go to God and pray about it. And then start making steps to heal. And begin to bridge the gap that's between you and your family members, that's between you and maybe a friend, you and a colleague. And even if you see a stranger on the street and you know that they need some help and your spirit is moved to help them, go help them. Because you don't know what that person is going through. Start using your ability to love. Use the strengths that God gave you to help your life be better and help somebody else's life to be better. And I also want to say that we should definitely do our best to make connections with these Black mothers who have lost their children to senseless crimes, especially related to the police, and see what we can do to play our part to help them heal and to try to get our kids to understand that this is very real. And this could be you, this could be me, this could be any of us. Let's try to come together and see what we can do to help keep our community safe, keep our community healthy, and to try to find a means to protect us without the violence being there. And so I'm going to go ahead and just bring this to a close because it's starting to get heavy. And I want to leave you with this. Make this week be the best week that you would like for it to be. Be intentional about your peace, be intentional about love, and be intentional about prospering at some place in your life. Until next Sunday, I hope you've enjoyed the show, and I will see you next week. Take care and God bless.